My fiancée called my parents low-class trash at a family dinner. I said, interesting. Then I canceled the $5,000 check I'd written for her parents' vacation gift. When her mom called crying about their canceled cruise, my fiancé realized who the trash really was. I, 32 male, had the family dinner from hell 3 days ago. Still processing, but mostly just tired. Context. Been with my fiancé, 30, for 2 years. Engaged for 6 months. Wedding planned for next spring. Generally got along fine until recently when wedding planning brought out a different side of her. My parents are blue collar. Dad's a mechanic, owns his own shop. Mom was a teacher, retired last year. They live modestly, paid off their house, saved well. Not wealthy, but comfortable. They're good people. Raised me right. Helped me pay for community college before I transferred to finish my engineering degree. I'm doing well now, make about $110K as a project manager at a manufacturing company. Her parents are different. Her dad's a regional VP at a pharmaceutical company. Her mom doesn't work, hasn't in 20 years. They live in a big house in the suburbs, country club members, whole deal. Nice people, or so I thought. A bit pretentious, but tolerable. The dinner was supposed to be both families meeting to discuss wedding details. Held at a nice restaurant, nothing too fancy, Italian place downtown. Things were fine at first, small talk, menu discussions. Then my fiancé's mom brought up the rehearsal dinner. Her mom, we're thinking the country club. Very elegant. The East Ballroom has those gorgeous windows. My mom, oh, that sounds lovely. What's the cost looking like? Her mom, around $15,000. But it's worth it for the ambiance. My dad nearly choked on his water. $15,000 for one dinner? Her dad, it's not just dinner, it's an experience. You want the wedding to be memorable. My dad, I'm sure it'll be memorable at half that price. Awkward silence. My fiancée jumped in. Her dad, we discussed this. The rehearsal dinner is traditionally the groom's family's responsibility. Right. And we budgeted $5,000. That's generous for a rehearsal dinner. Her mom, $5,000 for 70 guests? That's, oh dear. We can make it work. There are beautiful venues that, my fiancé cut her off. No offense, but we can't have the rehearsal dinner at some budget venue. Our friends will be there. My colleagues, this is important. My dad, budget venue? We're talking about nice restaurants, proper venues. Her dad, perhaps you don't understand the social expectations here. This isn't a backyard barbecue. I saw my dad's jaw clench. Warning sign. My mom tried diplomacy. We're happy to contribute what we can. Maybe we could split the... My fiancée actually rolled her eyes. Split it? No, that's not how this works. The groom's family pays for the rehearsal dinner. That's tradition. My dad. And traditionally it's a reasonable dinner, not a down payment on a car. Her mom, to her husband but loud enough for everyone. I told you this would be difficult. Different. Classes have different standards. My mom's face went red. Not angry red, hurt red. That's when my fiancé said it. Maybe if some people hadn't spent their lives in low-class jobs, they'd understand how proper weddings work. But I guess we can't expect trash to understand elegance. Low-class trash. She called my parents low-class trash. The table went dead silent. My mom looked like she'd been slapped. My dad stared at his plate, hands shaking slightly. I said one word. Interesting. My fiancé didn't even seem to realize what she'd said. Kept talking. I mean, it's just reality. We're from different worlds. They need to accept that. I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app, found the pending check I'd written 2 weeks ago. $5,000 for her parents' anniversary cruise gift. She'd asked me to pay for it since they'd done so much for us. Stopped payment. Right there at the table. Interesting, I said again. Her dad? What's interesting? Me, just handling some banking. Anyway, about the rehearsal dinner, there won't be one. Wedding's off. You could have heard a pin drop. My fiancé? What? What are you talking about? Me, wedding's canceled. We're done. I'm not marrying someone who calls my parents trash. I didn't, I was just making a point. You made your point. Now I'm making mine. Stood up, put cash on the table for my parents' meals and mine. Looked at her parents. Oh, and that cruise gift I was covering? Canceled the check. You can pay for your own vacation. Her mom, you what? The $5,000 check I gave you last week. Stopped payment an hour ago. That was a lie, but I stopped it right then. Consider it a gift for teaching your daughter that blue-collar people are trash. Walked out with my parents. Haven't been back to the apartment I share with her. Staying at my parents' house. She's called 38 times. Texted more. I haven't answered. Her mom called this morning, crying about the cruise getting canceled. Apparently they'd booked everything assuming that check would clear. Now their bank account's overdrafted. My parents keep asking if I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm not spending my life with someone who looks down on the people who raised me. Update 1. 4 days later, the fallout has been intense. Day 1 post-dinner, stayed at my parents' house. They kept asking if I was overreacting. My mom especially. Maybe she was just stressed about the wedding. Planning is hard. Mom, she called you trash. Well, she was frustrated. This is why I love my mom, but also why people walk over her. Too forgiving. My dad was quiet, but I caught him Googling how to cancel wedding venues, which made me feel both supported and sad. My phone was blowing up. My fiancée, her parents, her sister. I blocked them all. Day 2. Got a call from the wedding venue. Someone had tried to cancel using my name. Wasn't me. I called them back, confirmed I wanted to cancel, took the hit on the deposit, $2,500. Ouch, but worth it. They mentioned the other party was very upset. They couldn't cancel it first. Guess she wanted to beat me to it. Got an email from her. Subject line, "We need to talk about this maturely." The email was 12 paragraphs about how I was throwing away our future over a misunderstanding, and how she didn't mean it the way it sounded, and how stress made her say things she didn't mean. Not once did she apologize. I replied with one sentence, "You meant every word. We're done." Day 3. Her mother showed up at my office. Security called me down because she was causing a disturbance. Found her in the lobby, mascara running. How could you do this? Do you know how humiliated we are? More or less humiliated than my parents felt when your daughter called them trash? She apologized for that. To me, in an email that didn't actually contain an apology. Did she apologize to them? Silence. Me, that's what I thought. The cruise was non-refundable. We lost deposits. Our account is overdrawn because we counted on that check. Sounds like a financial planning problem. You said you'd pay for it. I said that before your daughter showed her true colors. Consider it a lesson in not counting money as yours before the check clears. This is financial abuse. I'll sue you. Me? For what? I never signed anything saying I'd pay for your vacation. It was a gift. Gifts can be revoked. Ask your lawyer. Security escorted her out. My boss pulled me aside after, asked if everything was okay. I explained briefly. He nodded. Good for you, man. Nobody disrespects your parents. Day 4. Today, the engagement ring situation. So here's something I didn't mention. The engagement ring was my grandmother's. Vintage, from the 1950s. Not massively valuable money-wise, appraised at around $4,000, but irreplaceable sentimentally. Got a text from my fiancé's sister. She says you can pick up your stuff from the apartment. She'll be gone Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Perfect. I want that ring back. Showed up with my dad and my best friend at 10:15 a.m. Let myself in with my key. She wasn't gone. She was there. With her mother, sister, and 2 friends I didn't recognize. Thought you'd be out. I said. Changed my mind. We're gonna talk about this. Nothing to talk about. I'm here for my stuff. Started packing. Clothes, books, my gaming console, tools, documents. Her mom, what about the ring? What about it? It's hers. You gave it to her. Me, it was a conditional gift based on marriage. No marriage. I get the ring back. That's the law in most states. Looked at my fiancée. Where's the ring? She crossed her arms. Safe. That's my grandmother's ring. I need it back. Her, maybe I'll keep it. Compensation for emotional distress. My dad stepped forward. That belonged to my mother. You give it back, now. Her mom, or what? You'll take her to small claims court? Good luck proving it was a conditional gift. Actually, she had a point. I didn't have documentation, it was just understood. Me, fine, keep the ring. I'll see you in court. You're bluffing. Try me. That ring has sentimental value. I'll pursue it legally. It'll cost me more in lawyer fees than the ring's worth, but I'm petty enough to do it just so you have to hire a lawyer too. And unlike your parents, I have savings that aren't dependent on other people's checks clearing. Her face went red. Her sister, just give him the ring. This is stupid. Her mom, don't you dare. He owes us. My dad, he owes you nothing. Your daughter disrespected us in public. He canceled a gift. You're not entitled to his money. Standoff. Finally, my fiancé stomped to the bedroom, came back, threw the ring at me, literally threw it. I caught it. There, hope you're happy. Me, happier than I'd be married to you. Walked out with my stuff. 3 trips total. They watched from the window every time. In the car, my dad said, I'm proud of you. That hit different. Worth all of it. Update 2, 10 days later. The entitlement has reached levels I didn't think possible. The apartment situation. We'd been living in a 2-bedroom apartment. Both our names on the lease. Rent was $1,800 per month. We'd been splitting it 50-50, $900 each. Day 5, got a text from her. You need to keep paying your half of rent until the lease ends. The lease ends in 4 months. Me, I moved out, not paying for a place I don't live in. Her, you're on the lease, you're legally obligated. She was technically right, which annoyed me. Talked to a lawyer friend. He confirmed both names on lease means both legally responsible until lease term ends. But he also said if you're both on the lease, you both have equal right to the apartment. You could move back in if you wanted. I didn't want to, but it gave me an idea. Me, text her, you're right. I am on the lease, which means I have every right to enter the apartment whenever I want. I'll be by daily to check on things. Her, that's harassment. Me, no, that's me accessing my legal residence. Unless you want to work out a deal where you pay me to leave. Day 6, she offered to take over the full rent if I signed my rights away. I countered. Pay me $3,600, 4 months at $900 up front, and I'll sign off on the lease. She refused. Said that was extortion. I said fine, I'll start coming by every day then. Day 7, she paid the $3,600. I signed the lease release. The wedding vendor drama. We booked several vendors. Photographer, $2,800 deposit. Caterer, $5,000 deposit. DJ, $800 deposit. Florist, $1,200 deposit. Total deposits, $9,800. We'd split most of them 50-50 from a joint account we'd opened for wedding expenses. Most were non-refundable. She sent me a spreadsheet. Here's your half of the lost deposits, $4,900. Venmo me. No, her, we both canceled the wedding. Me, you caused the cancellation. You pay the consequences. Her, that's not fair. Me, neither is calling my parents trash. She threatened to sue. I told her to go ahead. My lawyer friend, who's been loving this drama, said she'd lose. She caused the breach. You ended the relationship for legitimate reasons. Most judges won't make you pay deposits for a wedding to someone who insulted your family. The friend group situation. We had mutual friends, about 8 couples, mix of her friends, my friends, and genuinely mutual friends. She'd been telling everyone her version. I overreacted to a stressful moment and abandoned her over nothing. Most people reached out to me for my side. I told them. Short version. She called my parents low-class trash. I ended it. She kept the story minimal. 6 of the 8 couples sided with me. 2 sided with her. Her college friends who'd always been pretentious anyway. One of the neutral-ish friends, a woman who's known her for years, sent me a message. I'm not surprised. She said similar things about my husband's family when he wouldn't pay for her birthday trip to wine country. She has a pattern. That was validating. The apology, day 8. She showed up at my parents' house. My mom answered. Her, I'm here to apologize. My mom, being my mom, invited her in. I came downstairs to find her in our living room, crying. Her, I'm so sorry. What I said was terrible. I was stressed and I took it out on you and I'm so sorry. My mom looked at me with hopeful eyes. Me apologized to them, not me. What? You called them trash, apologized to them. She turned to my parents. I'm sorry if I offended you. If she offended them. My dad, you called us low-class trash. Either you think that or you don't. Which is it? I don't. I was just frustrated. So when you're frustrated, you insult people's livelihoods and call them trash? Her, no, my dad, that's who you are under pressure. We know now. Thank you for showing us before the wedding. Turning to me. See, they won't accept my apology. You're being unreasonable. That wasn't an apology. That was damage control. Get out. I drove an hour to get here. Should have thought about that before insulting my parents. She left crying. My mom looked torn but said nothing. My dad clapped me on the shoulder. Good. The financial revelation, day 9. My lawyer friend helped me close the joint wedding account. We both contributed to it. Final balance, $8,200. I contributed $6,000. She contributed $2,200. Legally, joint account means we each get half, $4,100 each. But morally, I put in way more. I took my $6,000 back, left her with $2,200. She lost it. Threatened legal action. My lawyer friend said, she can try, but you can prove your deposits. Court would likely give you back your contributions, especially given the circumstances of the breakup. She backed down. The final power move. Day 10, today, got a call from her dad. He'd been silent this whole time. Man to man. Met him at a coffee shop. He looked tired. This has gotten out of hand. My daughter is a mess. My wife is furious. You humiliated us. Your daughter humiliated my parents. She apologized for that. No, she said, sorry if I offended you. That's not an apology. Look, we all say things we don't mean when stressed. Do you think my parents are low-class trash? No, of course not. Does your wife? Longer pause. That's what I thought. We come from different backgrounds. That creates tension sometimes. I don't care about backgrounds. I care about respect. Your daughter and wife made it clear they don't respect my parents. I'm not marrying into a family that looks down on mine. What about the money? The cruise, the rent buyout, the wedding account? You cost us over $15,000. I cost you. Your daughter cost herself a marriage. Your wife cost herself a free cruise. Those are consequences. This is vindictive. This is self-respect. He left. I finished my coffee. Felt good. Final update, 3 weeks later. Time to close this chapter properly. Week 2 recap. The flying monkeys came out in force. Her extended family, her work friends, random acquaintances, all messaging me about how I was ruining her life and overreacting. I sent the same response to everyone. She called my parents low-class trash at a family dinner. If you think that's acceptable, we have nothing to discuss. Most people shut up after that. A few tried the everyone makes mistakes angle. I asked if they'd marry someone who called their parents trash. None answered. Her mother tried one more time to get me to reimburse them for the cruise. Sent me a demand letter through some lawyer friend of hers. My lawyer friend responded with a simple letter explaining that gifts aren't contracts and she has no legal standing. Never heard back. Week 3. The apartment situation resolved itself. She moved out end of the month, got her own place, had to get a roommate because she couldn't afford it alone. Apparently downgraded significantly. Heard through the grapevine she's bitter about it. Not my problem. The ring is back in my family. I gave it to my mom to hold. Maybe I'll give it to my future wife someday. Maybe not. But it's not on the finger of someone who thinks my family is trash. Financially, I took a hit. Lost the $2,500 venue deposit, plus the deposits I'd paid for photographer and caterer, about $3,000 total. But I got back my full contribution from the joint account and got paid to leave the apartment lease. Net loss, maybe $2,000. Worth every penny. The social aftermath. Word spread in our social circle. Most people took my side once they heard what she actually said. Some tried to stay neutral, which honestly felt like taking her side. I let those friendships fade. If you can't understand why calling someone's parents low-class trash is breakup worthy, we're not compatible friends. Made some interesting discoveries about who she really was. Multiple people came forward with stories. A college friend said she'd refused to attend her wedding because the venue was too basic. A co-worker said she constantly complained about clients from unrefined backgrounds. Her own cousin reached out to say she'd been insufferable since getting engaged, talking about how she was marrying up. Dodged a bullet? More like dodged a missile. The parents. My parents keep thanking me, which breaks my heart a little. They shouldn't have to thank me for defending them. My mom admitted she'd always felt judged by my fiancé's family, but tried to ignore it. My dad said he never trusted her, but didn't want to interfere. I told them I should have listened to my gut sooner. There were signs, little comments here and there. I wrote them off as wedding stress. Turns out, stress doesn't create character, it reveals it. We had a good dinner last week, just us. My dad grilled. My mom made her potato salad. We sat on their back deck and didn't talk about her at all. Talked about normal stuff, sports, weather, Mom's garden, it was perfect. The emotional reality, I'm not gonna lie and say I'm 100% fine. I'm not. I loved her, or thought I did. I imagined a future with her. Kids, house, growing old together. That's gone now. Some nights I wonder if I overreacted. Then I remember my mom's face when she heard low-class trash, and I know I didn't. Some days I miss her. The good version of her. The one who laughed at my jokes and made Sunday breakfast and watched bad reality TV with me. Then I remember that person was apparently fake, or at least conditional on my parents not being around. The anger's fading. What's left is mostly sadness for what I thought we had and relief about what I avoided. Started seeing a therapist, not because I'm devastated, but because I want to understand how I missed the red flags. Why I ignored the small comments, the little judgments, the subtle condescension toward my background. Therapist says it's common. People show you who they want you to see until they feel secure. Then the mask slips. Usually after marriage. I got lucky. The mask slipped before the wedding. The hard question. Everyone keeps asking if she's tried to get back together. Yes, multiple times. Week 2, long email about how she's changed and understands now and wants to prove herself. I didn't respond. Week 3, showed up at my office again. Security called me. I had them ask her to leave and add her to the do not allow list. She sent flowers to my parents' house with a card. I'm deeply sorry for my words and actions. I hope someday you can forgive me. My mom wanted to accept them. My dad threw them in the compost bin. Her sister reached out, said she's devastated and has learned her lesson and deserves another chance. I told the sister, she doesn't deserve another chance. She deserves exactly what she got, consequences. Tell her to learn the lesson with the next guy. Hopefully he has more self-respect than I did when I ignored the warning signs. The truth. Here's what I learned. You can't marry someone who doesn't respect your family. Not just tolerate them, respect them. My parents aren't perfect. They're not wealthy. They don't have fancy degrees or country club memberships. But they're good people. They worked hard, they raised me well, they gave me everything they could. Anyone who looks down on that isn't someone I want in my life. The money stuff, the cruise, the deposits, the rent, that was all just tactics. Ways to make sure she understood there were consequences, but the real consequence was simpler. She lost me. She didn't lose me because of money. She lost me because she showed me exactly who she is. And who she is isn't someone I want to spend my life with. Where I am now, single. Living in a studio apartment closer to work. It's small, but it's mine. No shared spaces, no walking on eggshells, no wondering if my girlfriend secretly thinks my family is beneath her. I'm good, not great yet, but good. Better every day. My parents are good, relieved, I think. My mom stopped pretending she liked my fiancé. My dad's been teaching me some advanced car maintenance stuff, which is actually pretty cool. My job's good, boss has been supportive, co-workers too. Apparently my situation resonated with a lot of people. More people have similar stories than I expected. Dating? Not yet. Maybe eventually. Right now I'm just decompressing. Figuring out who I am outside of that relationship. Remembering what I actually like versus what I pretended to like to fit into her world. Turns out I don't actually enjoy wine tasting or art gallery openings or pretentious brunch spots. I like dive bars and greasy diners and baseball games, and that's fine. I'm fine. The last word. To anyone reading this who's in a similar situation, if your partner disrespects your family, that's not a small thing. That's a massive, relationship-ending thing. It doesn't matter how stressed they are. It doesn't matter how long you've been together. It doesn't matter how much you've invested financially or emotionally. If they can't respect where you come from, they don't respect you. Not really. I spent $5,000 on a cruise I never took. Lost deposits totaling $5,500. Paid $3,600 to get out of a lease early. Total cost $14,100. Worth every single dollar to not spend the rest of my life with someone who thinks my parents are trash. Best money I ever spent.